Brian and I covered this when it came out a few months ago back, and we were interested and heard some good things. But now that it's on Game Pass, figured I'd check it out. Driving games are always peculiar, so I always wanted to know where this one really fell. Was it more of an arcade? Was it more of a sim? Was it more of a kart racer? Um, so I was very curious to try this one out, and especially in general, uh, the Lego games, regardless of the developer, have been pretty fun to play. Now, this is obviously, to my understanding, the first Lego racing game. So I was very curious, even more so compared to what the Traveller's Tale games with all the superheroes and Star Wars and whatnot. It set a very good precedent for this game to follow behind. So I was very interested to see. And so far, with the story mode, it seems fun. I like the Lego games in general because they are typically very easy to get into for players of all ages and skill sets. And there is a whimsicalness to them. I think a lot of that precedent was really set forth in the Lego Travel Cell games, but also the Lego movies as well have been or were very good at establishing a whimsical sort of environment or universe for these Lego games. So I am actually running this on the Xbox Series, um, not Series X, Xbox One, and this is running natively, not from the cloud. They also have editions on the PS4, 5, as well as the Switch. Now, one of the things I don't like about 2K is that they bundle the last gen edition and the current gen edition together to make you pay for the complete $70 package. I think there's a charm just about these Lego games, and even with this, just the story trailer, I guess the story setup, uh, it's just, it breeds fun. And now we're into the game. The handling was a bit more precise than I thought. Okay, I love how you change vehicles. In this case, you'll see more of that coming soon, but when you go off road, you change into that ATV, and when you go back on the road, you change into your roadster. I thought it was very cool, but even more so, it's a great use of the whole Lego block building mechanic. That's just really cool when you're handling changes with the change in terrain as well. So again, I thought that was just a really different take on the racing genre. Now I've seen something else like that in the Sonic Team Racing, but in this case it's changing from water to air to sea, where you change to different types of vehicles, but not on land. Like land, you're in the same vehicle, so you don't have that changing from your roadster to an off-road style vehicle. Again, very unique touch. I really like that. Graphically speaking, again, I'm running on the Xbox One, so it's not as if I am looking to have the highest fidelity of graphics, but even just playing it, thought it was really cool. Thought the graphics were really adequate. I don't expect a Lego game in general to push uh, graphical fidelity on any system, but it's a really fun game to look at and play. And here we're going through the tutorial stage with Scud, or Stud. Is it Stud? Scud? I know it's Scud's something totally different. Not like Chud though. Chud is definitely something totally different, and that's something I would not expect to find in a Lego game. But of course, it would be kind of a cool Easter egg to find a Chud in a sewer or something, like going through tunnels. So here we're picking out characters, and I didn't really want to explore too much into the actual character creation. I just chose your nondescript racer. For some reason, it reminds me of the old 80s movie. What was the one with Charlie Sheen? Why do I forget that movie? It's like such a cool movie, but it'll come back to me eventually. But it's just cool and it's nondescript, and also I won't have to worry about figuring out what my character looks like. Sometimes when you have a really good player creation mode, you can get just stuck into trying to tweak your character to look like you, look like somebody, or just look different in general. So I didn't want to get stuck in that. So here we're driving around and going with the different checkpoints in this case, learning all about what to do, where to go, about our town. Again, at this point, I'm starting to get a better handle on the handling of the vehicle. So that was something interesting. It's a bit more precise than, say, a kart racer. I would honestly say it reminds me of the handling in the Forza Horizon series, which is a good thing. So you have that precision somewhat, but it still has that arcadey feel. Now, doing this section, I don't know why, I was drifting like I have in previous games where you drift, and I wasn't following the direction, so I look like I'm a bit slow during this section trying to drift. It was fun, and it was just nice racing around the track. The racing itself is just really fun. No doubt about that. I think this is a game that so many people would really enjoy. As whether is It's a good cross section, because I think that the race where I've enjoyed playing the most over the past couple of years has been the Forza Horizon series, and I put a lot of time for me into Forza Horizon 5, in addition to playing Mario Kart 8. Those are two races that I have definitely played the most of in the past 3-4 years, and I say this is a pretty good mix of the two. As you see, my driving is absolutely horrible trying to do all of these drifts and still getting it wrong every time, not realizing I literally need to hold all the buttons down at the same time. I'm literally like giving it gas and hitting the brakes, and then, excuse me, I'm brakes, steering, and then hitting the gas, and not hitting them all three at the same time. See, I'm like getting flashes and moments here, but then as you go on, I really start to get it and understand, which is a really cool mechanic, just not in the way that I expected it to really handle compared to other games. Now I look like I'm just going bouncing wall to wall to wall to wall. I really look horrible driving. But nonetheless, it was still a fun tutorial to really run through, even though it took me a little while to really get the hang of it. Let's see, I'm getting the hang of it there, just drifting, drifting, drifting. I love the destruction. That is something I've always loved with the Lego games, and this one is no different. But I think this takes it to a whole different level with the destruction of the wheels, and then the world, and then again the changing of your vehicle as well. So that was pretty cool. This is just a fun open area to run around. So I like the open area nature. Again, this so much reminds me of like a Forza Horizon game with the open world. You can just race around. Now see here we change it to a boat. This so reminds me of Hydro Thunder. It very much reminds me of that game, even how the boat controls. It's very much like how Hydro Thunder. Even the Sonic series as well, Sonic Team Racing series. Same thing happens. You go into the water boat. Now this, for some reason, took me a minute to really get to the point where my mentor was, so we can get to the next section, which is aka a race with him. So I'm just really going around here trying to figure it out, and I get over, and for some reason I guess I didn't see him because of I just wanted to run into all the people. Like that was so fun, just running into people. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention whatsoever. And here I go again. I don't know, for whatever reason I was thinking that I need to drive up to the top of the tower, which doesn't make sense in retrospect, but that's what I thought. So to some degree it wasn't that clear to me. Here I am again. A little reset there. I'm back in the open road, off-roading in the ATV, going through the grass, and now I'm heading back to the tower. It took me a minute to figure this out too. I will say, at least for me, some of the instructions weren't 100% clear, maybe 80%, or I was just having a slow day when I was playing this. I think it's probably I was having a slow day when I was playing this. But It's just really fun to play through. I can't stop talking about how fun the game was, just to play through and race around until we got to the first race. And again, it very much reminds me of a almost like a Lego version of Forza Horizon with some Mario Kart or kart racing in general mixed in, and you'll see more of that aspect of the game once we start the race here shortly. All right, let's try this again. Let's try to go and find our mentor so we can start this next segment of the game. I don't know. I feel like it was bigger than last time, so I understood a bit more. Also, you just want to race, so just stopping on a dime is not something that I really wanted to do. All right, we finally found them. Let's stop. I do feel like the maybe the circle surrounding them could be a bit larger, a la Crazy Taxi, because I think that would make it easier to see as you're racing around it. Yes, you see the little icon over top of them, but having that circle be a lot wider, especially considering you don't have to stop directly in a circle, would have been better as far as a design decision, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. Like that starting line is pretty big, and you know where to go, and you know the area you can stop in. It's been a long day. Come on, Star. I will say the loading screens were a bit long, and earlier I cut out some of the loading screen. I didn't do it this time, so you can really get an understanding. At least, again, it's the Xbox One. I would assume loading screens on the current generation systems, PS4, excuse me, PS5, as well as Xbox Series, will be a lot faster because they use SSDs and not standard hard drives. So, so we are going up against Clutch Racington, and he's really handicapping us by racing in that little jalopy. Finish line. All right, get to the race. There's a lot of setup to show you where the course runs through. I think they could speed the section up a little bit. I don't think it's as important as the actual race. Here we go. There's Clutch. And there's me in a McLaren. Now, with this, you start in 8th place. Obviously, most racing games you start in the end or in the rear. Now, see, there you have those power ups. Every power up or every game where power ups are used it's the same, but then it's similar. So it took me a little bit to really pay attention to how the power ups are used in this game, because it's I won't say a bit more based in reality, but I was looking or thinking maybe a bit more based in reality compared to a Mario Kart, and it really isn't. So you got your speed boost. I still don't figure out what that ghost is. If that ghost is a power up, I think it is. But or maybe speed boost is ghost. You're ghosting someone. Makes sense, I guess. The race unto itself, I will say that I think the last racer I really played was that Disney Speedstorm, and that was pretty fun. But that's a design. It's kind of a peer-to-peer mobile game first. So with that design, you tend to go through levels very quickly. And this level is, or the laps and level size altogether are a bit larger than I would have expected, especially for the feel of this game. But I do like it. I think that I am just see here we have the web, and that's very reminiscent of the inky ink blot. Is it inky squiddy? What it ink blot on Mario Kart, which was but which hard to navigate. But it was nice that you could hit Y and speed up the getting it off and wiping it off you. So again, here I am. Race just about done. I am in first place. It went very quickly and a lot faster than I thought, but still, I think it could be in. I know I was expecting it to be shorter, and maybe it's because of Speedstone, but I thought the race size was length was pretty decent. It gives you a good chance to uh, get a handle on the game, understand how to race, as well as I'm wondering, does it purposely have you win or beat Scooter, or not Scooter, Clutch? All right, I won. So it seems like the more races you win, the more checkered flags you get, the more checkered flags, the more unlockables you can get, and I beat Clutch. So now you see all my prizes, and I think that's going to be it. It's been fun.